Hi, everybody. Welcome to the next edition of Two Up Front here at the Attention Era Media Studios. We are brought to you by Three Lines Pub. I am Baxter Colburn.
And I'm Simon Provan.
Simon Provan, a very good day to you, sir. How was the weekend? How are you?
It was good, Baxter. It was, like I said, busy running around doing the soccer stuff.
Of course. It's always good to get the busyness out, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
how about yourself?
Actually, weekend was pretty good overall. Got to spend some time with the family. Got to relax a little bit as well, too. Church on Sunday was amazing. So good times overall, honestly.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's always the weekend. The weeks, as you and I both know, are always super busy with work and all the chaos. And the weekend, it's like, oh, family, how are you?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Kind of a thing.
And of course, one of the cool things about this coming week is we are hosting the Milwaukee Torrent kickoff party.
Also true.
Down at Brenner Brewing on Friday night. So if you want to see who we are, just come out and cheer on the Torrent.
I know. Usually when we tell people to see who we are, they have to Google us. But
That's
now
right.
you can physically see us as well.
Sorry
too.
about that. Sorry.
I know. People are like, that's what they look like. Obviously, for those of you that are watching here, we are live on Brew Sports. You can catch us here on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Central Time. You can also find us, of course, on their website, brewsportsnet.com, and you can go to our website as well, 2upfrontsoccer.com, the number 2, to get past episodes, learn more about the show, check out all the great guests we've had on the program as well, too. And you can also listen to the show, of course, on Spreaker and iTunes and iHeartRadio as well.
Yeah, and you can also find us on Facebook. Just type in 2 Up Front in the search bar. Or check us out on Twitter at 2 Up Front Soccer. He's at Baxter Colburn. I'm at Simon Provan.
All right, Simon Provan. Very rarely do we lead our shows with interviews, but we have 2 amazing interviews today. We're going to be talking to NWSL Player of the Week, Jess Fishlock, in our third segment, so super excited about that. It is a pre-recorded interview for those that watched it on Friday, but the magic
Two Up Front magic.
Two Up Front magic keeps working for some reason, and I'm sure our first guest is going to be hoping for some of that as well, too. But if you don't know about the 2 Up Front magic, I don't know exactly what our track record is, but almost every person that has appeared on our show has then gone on to do something, either assist or goal, in that following game.
Or named Player of the Week. Or in the case of Lynn Williams, named NWSL MVP as well.
MVP. We have a very healthy track record. It's amazing more people aren't coming to us being like, can I be on your show, please? We have a fair amount, but still, it's just kind of ironic and funny as well, too. Of course, we are on Facebook Live. Louise says hello to us, so good to see you, Louise. Thanks for tuning in. But we actually have an opportunity to have somebody on the program who is actually local, which is kind of crazy. She does play for the Chicago Red Stars. She was drafted in the second round, second pick in the second round. She is finishing up her degree at Marquette University as well, too.
Also the 2016 Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
Also very true. It is Morgan Proffitt. She joins us now on the shopfutsal.com call-in line. Morgan, a very good day to you. Welcome to 2 Up Front.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We are thrilled to have you on the show today, Morgan. Very first and foremost, of course, you made your NWSL debut over the weekend in a victory for the Red Stars. Julie Ertz getting the goal for you, of course. But how excited are you to finally get into an NWSL game, to finally launch your professional soccer career?
Words can't explain how awesome that was. I mean, being home as well in front of the home crowd, and parents got to come and watch. It was really awesome, but it's also super nerve-wracking at the same time. We were only up 1 goal and probably should have been up a few more at that time. So definitely wanted to make sure I was defensively sharp and get those nerves out in the first game.
One of the things the league does not lack is goalkeepers that are standing on their head early in the season.
Yeah.
Nicole Barnhart made a couple of tremendous saves. What I'm curious about, though, is Kristen Press unbelievably misses a penalty kick, and usually when that happens in a game, the momentum quickly shifts. But Red Stars, you kept your mind and still played that game as if you were in control the entire time. So I'm curious what some of the signals, what some of the words were from the coach to keep you guys motivated.
Yeah, Rory does a great job at keeping us focused throughout the game. His phrase is the next one. So, you miss a PK or you lose it or, opportunity was lost. He always yells, the next one, to get the next one. So it's definitely positive and positive reinforcement moving forward with the game to keep things going, keep possession, and keep creating opportunities.
And we've had Rory on the show before too, Simon, and he is very much that similar style as Morgan mentions is too. He always is talking about, next man up, I guess, is the saying as a whole too. But it's amazing to see how his team certainly organized in that regards. Morgan, I'm curious though too. I mean, of course, opening day didn't exactly go the way you wanted it to, losing 2-0 to the Houston Dash. Now, of course, you have to move forward to this upcoming weekend where it really doesn't get much easier for you. You have to take on the Portland Thorns now. What have been the words from Coach Rory Dames? What have been the training has been like this week as well too before you ladies head out to Portland to deal with a always dangerous Portland Thorns team?
Yeah, so we played Portland in our preseason game, and I mean the atmosphere out there is absolutely incredible. So it's exciting to go back out there and play again. We're taking training day by day. We have a lot of film session looking over. I mean, today we're going to go over their Portland's, heat maps and passing patterns and whatnot. So kind of more focus on Portland. But we train every day. It's a competitive environment, and just really excited to get a result this weekend.
Stepping back and looking at your career in a broader sense, Morgan, you played with the Red Stars reserves in the WPSL. So first question for you, and then I've got another one after that on a more personal level, but not too personal, I promise.
Her favorite colors, yeah.
But the first question, obviously you're still finishing up school at Marquette University while playing professional soccer with the Chicago Red Stars. Is this a conversation you had before the draft with Chicago of, look, if I'm the player you want, draft me, you're the team I want to be with? Or were there other teams talking to you before the draft?
Yeah, both. I did talk with other teams too, but definitely spoke with Rory, and I let him know my current situation. And, obviously if you're getting paid to play, you need to be there, you need to be at practice, and, it's your job. So I totally understood where he was coming from, where I needed to be at trainings and whatnot. So it's actually worked out well. A lot of the girls have offered me to stay at their places in Chicago, so I don't have to drive back and forth to and from school, and my professors have worked with me. So it's actually worked out really well, and only have like a week and a half left. So excited to get school done with.
From what we've heard too, apparently Steph McCaffrey has the donut hookup in Chicago. Has she given you that magical tour of the Chicago donuts yet?
Not yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Donuts is a big thing with our team wherever we go, so I'm definitely excited to experience that. We asked, I think, 5 or 6 players after that too. We're like, listen, Steph McCaffrey said the donuts are amazing, and they were like, oh yeah, no, she's true,
and
100%.
I've clarified as well that the donuts in Chicago really are top notch.
Right, we've tried them ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Well,
now that Lent's over, I can eat those sweets, so I'm excited for that.
Well, whether it's donuts, your professors, your teammates, you obviously have a great support system, both with Marquette and Chicago. Before Chicago, though, one of the great parts of that support system was your coach, Marcus Roders. This is the personal part, is that you and I actually have something in common here. Back in the 1990s, when I was in high school.
How old is that? How old are you?
Back when the ODP programs actually
Morgan
meant
and I were
something.
Just mere children?
Yes, something like that. I had played with the state team for a couple of years, and one of my coaches one season was Marcus Roders. One of my favorite coaches to play under, because one of the more caring coaches, especially with being a younger kid. But Marcus seems to have the ability to know how to push somebody, when to push them, but also when to hold back and allow the player to grow within themselves. So I'm wondering if you could share with us your experience under Marcus.
Oh, Marcus has been incredible the last 4 years. We've been blessed with a great coaching staff. But, yeah, exactly what you said. He knows when to push your buttons, get a rise out of you, but he definitely has a balance with staying positive and keeping the game fun. You always look forward to practices because he always is in some sort of goofy mood at one point in the practice. So it's definitely an enjoyable time to go out and play and get pushed at the same time. He has a great balance between the two.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head too. That's one of my fondest things about Marcus is a great English sense of humor that he has. That Monty Python humor.
Right, exactly. Morgan, last question for me before we let you run. So now that you've made it to the professional levels, of course, it's always fun to play the what-if game. You've obviously spent time with the U23s for the national team. what are the aspirations? What are the goals that keep you awake at night, dreaming of of future glory? So people have an idea of what to look out for from a career perspective from you.
Oh, well, right now, I mean, short term, just trying to get more minutes and being consistent when I am in and keeping practices good and sharp and contributing. But long term, I would say definitely the aspiration is still to make it to the full women's national team. I mean, that's majority of the girls' dreams at this level. So definitely being a part of the U23, I've had like a little taste of it, but definitely moving forward with this season, I hope to gain confidence and start showing who I really am on and off the field. So.
And I think that's very respectable, honestly, too. I mean, it's good to have goals, obviously, and the fact that you get the opportunity to train with other national team players only helps build your skill set as a whole, too. So I think something very exciting to keep an eye on for sure.
Well, especially, too, looking back at your history, this seems also to be a theme this season, but the ACL tear you had a few years ago, which took you out of the U18 camp. It's great to see how well you've recovered over the years, again, including that 2016 Big East Player of the Defensive Player of the Year, plus being on the Herman Trophy watch. It's an incredible story that will obviously continue to be told. So
absolutely.
Wish you all the best with that, Morgan.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, Morgan, we got to let you run, but we appreciate you taking the time to swing by on to Up Front today. We wish you absolutely nothing but the best, and look forward to hopefully having you on the show again here in the next couple of weeks if it works out.
Sounds great. Thanks again for having me.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon. There goes Morgan Proffitt on the shopfutsal.com call-in line. Some great insight from her. Just a genuinely nice person. I know we have these conversations almost every time we get off of our interviews. It's like, they're such a nice person. They're so nice. But it's true. Like, when we did our Jess Fishlock interview, on Friday, we got off the phone with her, too, and we're like, good Lord, is there anybody mean in this league? They all are just super nice. And, of course, they all play for Seattle, too. I'm like, really? No, I mean, there's nice people, of course. But it's, as you mentioned, though, too, it's great to see that Morgan has been able to overcome those injuries and to be able to still have that local feel as well, too, because, I mean, she spent 4 years of her life here in Milwaukee playing for Marquette. Now she's just down the road in the sense of, playing for Chicago as well, too. It makes it even more special.
Yeah, and, you add to that she grew up in Indiana so that her parents are able to come and see many games. It's a short drive from Chicago, especially down there at Bridgeview, to almost anywhere in Indiana. So it's great to see that she's been able to not only hold to her Midwest roots, but also continue to grow on them in the Midwest.
Right, exactly. It is time to move into the kick around, where we talk about a couple of different things that took place in the soccer world. We are going to have Jess Fishlock of the Seattle Reign joining us in just a little bit, so make sure you hang around for that. If you have any comments or thoughts about anything that we've got going on the show, of course, you know how to find us here on Facebook. We also broadcast live to YouTube, and we're actually broadcasting live on Spreaker.com as well, too. Numerous ways to watch, numerous ways to listen. Find us. Get at us. You can even tweet at us as well, too, at Simon Provine, at Baxter Colburn. We will definitely get back to you at some point or another when it comes to the social media world. We live busy lives. It's hard to get back to the tweets immediately, but we do our best to get back to people. But I want to take a quick moment. We don't talk about European soccer very often. I did want to just give the rightful respect that is due. Lionel Messi scoring his 500th goal over the weekend, and of course, it's the winner in the El Clasico as Barcelona tops Real Madrid 3-2. What other circumstance could it possibly be than that massive of a game, that rivalry of a game, and what player could it be? Who else could score such a game-winning goal as it would be Lionel Messi? 500 goals, though, in his career, the most in Barcelona history. Just wow. That's all I can say is wow.
And on top of it, too, he comes off of this soon after his suspension for his altercation with the referee.
Yeah, his 3-game suspension.
So perhaps he was even more upset, and that gave him the fire to exactly.
Done with this. I'm coming for you. But, I mean, I think that it's great, though, that he was able to do that. And the amount of humility that he does play with, though, too. I mean, sometimes you see players that have incredible success that are very full of themselves and don't take the time to realize that they've come, most of the time, from nothing to now where they are. And I think Messi, for the most part, has done a great job of staying humble throughout his career.
Yeah, humble. I wouldn't say that he came from nothing. I mean, he spent plenty of time in the youth academy with Barcelona.
Of course.
And in fact, if you go back and watch some of those tapes that Barcelona recently released with the young Messi playing, it's crazy how he's, even at that age, just burning through everybody.
Exactly. A couple of comments on Facebook. Frank says, good morning, boys. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Frank.
See you. How are we doing? Frank Dotzer, good friend of ours. Good to see him. Josh says, Messi was rested and angry. Yes.
There you go.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
And Luis also saying Barcelona takes on Osasuna today, and Deportivo La Coruña takes on Real Madrid today. So the title race for La Liga continues, even though starting to wrap up. Premier League is wrapping up, all that stuff.
So question for you.
Please.
And Luis, you can answer this as well.
Luis is a very smart guy.
Pelé, of course, had over 1,000 goals in his career. Do we see Messi break Pelé's scoring record? Now, of course, Romario says, wait, no, I've scored more goals than Pelé. The thing is, Romario is also including all of his goals as an amateur as well.
I was going to say, I've scored over 200 goals, Simon, but no one's talking about that, but that's all before college.
Right. So your thoughts on that?
I don't, where is he? Was that combined with international and club, or was that just club?
Yeah, okay. International and club.
I don't know what he has.
Messi doesn't score at the international level.
I was going to say, so he's got 4 goals internationally, something like that. Does he get over 1,000? I don't know, honestly. That's a hard question. I mean, the fact that he's in the latter half of his career and he just hit 500 on the club level certainly speaks to his volume of talent, but it makes you worry a little bit about if he's going to get to something like that. Because people always have that conversation. Is it Pelé? Is it Messi?
And of course, the big argument is that, Messi's in Europe, Pelé never played in Europe. At the same time, those were completely different times.
Exactly.
Most players stayed in their home countries.
Europe was the South America at the time.
That's right.
South America was the booming soccer hub, and Pelé was at the focal point of it all.
Right, and then, of course, he came and played in that spectacular NASL league with the New York Cosmos.
Love it. The hand of God came to America. It was incredible. Speaking of the incredible
that was
American,
Maradona that had the hand of God.
Same thing. No, I'm kidding. I know who these people are, guys. Whatever. That's true.
Young lad.
I know. Forgive me. Put my young years back here. Speaking of America, though, the U17s have been doing some rather incredible things recently.
Yeah, down in the
putting a beat down on Jamaica.
5-0. 5-0.
Unbelievable.
In the U17 CONCACAF Championships.
Yeah. Talk to us about this, Simon. What's going on here?
Well, it's first of all, it's nice to see.
I know you geek out about the U17s, the U20s, the U5s.
It's nice
Simon's
to
scouting
watch.
He's scouting my son for right now. Be like, he's got a good kick, 5 months old.
That's right. I sit back there and watch it all.
Yeah, exactly.
You know the way Beckham shifted his eyes, Baxter. That we're talking left back right there, future left back.
He can see the field really well. Be like, Simon, he just wants his bottle.
No, it's nice to see. Obviously, it's Jamaica. They're in a bit of a rebuilding stage as well with their federation. But listen, 5 goals against any opponent is always a good sign for your youth teams, and we know how youth teams work out. Some of these players will rise to the top. Most of them will never hear their names ever again. Ayo Akinola, though, 2 goals in that game.
Cannoli? I like a canola.
Akinola. But you like a good canola.
I do like a good
gotcha.
All right, that makes sense.
But the big game, Baxter, is today, taking on Mexico's U17s.
And USA, Mexico at any level in soccer, male or female, mostly male. Female is yet to get to that rivalry, but always a dynamic and incredible game nonetheless.
Yeah, and Mexico does a great job of really using these youth tournaments as developmental games, yet they still seem to dominate at the youth level.
Unbelievable. Chris saying good morning to us on Facebook, our good friend Chris Blakely. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, of course, for tuning in. Luis also said, kind of answering your Messi question, he said, it kind of comes down to this. He said, first we need to see how much Messi's physique can last. Of course, he's had a couple of injuries, and then there's also plenty of players that can't even make it to 36, let alone longer than that. So he said that's going to be the big thing. Messi made 500 goals in 14 years. Let's be honest, Messi has maybe 5 to 6 more years left. So all very good points.
Yeah, maybe he comes to the MLS and pads those stats a little bit.
I'm pretty sure the Revolution would take him. I'm pretty sure anybody would take him. LAFC is sitting out there trying to get Chicharito and everybody else, so why not Messi too?
Right. I was going to give you the time of the game for the U.S. 17s against Mexico. I'm looking here. Here we go. 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern. So
is it on Facebook Live?
It is not on Facebook Live, but it's on the CONCACAF YouTube channel. So if you want to check out the future of Mexico and the U.S., tune into that game. It's an important one.
It is.
Canada, on the other hand, Baxter, losing to Cuba. So they are knocked out.
It just goes from bad to worse for Canada.
It does.
Maybe they should just stick to hockey and curling.
I don't have who it was their first opponent was, but I know they lost their first group game, then they lost to Cuba. They're taking on Suriname. I never know how to say that one. Suriname. It's that South African country that plays in CONCACAF.
I think that's
whatever the case may be, they're trying to play for a little bit of pride, but Canada not able to qualify for the U17
How do you fix
World
a problem
Cup.
like Canada? Like, we have had these conversations before when...
They've been asking that since the Sound of Music, Baxter. Right?
Yeah, how do you solve a problem like Canada? Exactly. I mean, the women are like, we figured it out. Like, things are great for us. But the men, it just continuously blows my mind. The young players they have, the talent that they have.
Well, they have the talent. You look at somebody like Kyle Larin.
It never works out,
obviously
though.
not a U17 player, but you got Kyle Larin.
The senior team always falls on their face. Right. I think that's why we said, like we were joking, like if the U.S., Mexico, and Canada get that World Cup bid, that'll be the first time Canada have actually made it to a World Cup, like on purpose, because they got, ushered in basically. Be like, well, yeah, obviously you're helping host, so you get a free bid.
Right.
But like, they're going to get bounced, though. Speaking
of Canada and odd things, Frank Yallop resigned as coach of Phoenix Rising FC.
What?
Just recently.
They just signed Drogba.
Well, here's the speculation. Drogba is also a part owner, which I did not realize when I made this announcement. Drogba's part owner of Phoenix Rising FC. So some people are thinking that Drogba also wants to be the coach. He wants to be a player coach, like Jess Fishlock.
Is he trying to be a Jess Fishlock here?
Right.
Like, well, Jess did it in Australia. Why can't I do it in the USL?
So, of course, that's all speculation. They're all rumors. And the reason Frank Yallop works into this is obviously he's a former coach and a former player with the Canadian men's national team. But some people are saying that with what's going on with the Galaxy, which we'll get to later, but Anafalo may be on his way out already, and maybe Frank Yallop is
headed over there.
Yeah.
Keep it all in the family, I guess.
So a lot of speculation.
That is very true. Luis also here on Facebook says that Baxter woke up today all un-Canadian. Right? Come on now. I don't mind
Baxter may have a Canadian-sounding name, Louise, but he's not Canadian.
Right, exactly. He's like, you woke up all un-Canadian today. Like, come on, like, just I mean, but it's not just me. We've been critical. A lot of people have been critical of Canada as a whole.
Brian Dunseth came on the show and talked about how much of a disappointment, and he's in touch with a lot of the Canadian players, and even they're saying we can't figure it out. We don't know what's going on.
No idea. Absolutely no idea. All right, well, we are going to get to Jess Fishlock of the Seattle Reign. We had a chance to sit down with her on Friday, and of course, we have the full interview for you now. So take a look as Jess Fishlock of the Seattle Reign joins us.
Just real quick, so don't be confused when we were talking about previewing last weekend's game.
Exactly. So this is this was done in the preview before the game that took place, where they
but still a great interview.
Manhandled the dash. Yep, exactly. So here's the interview of Jess Fishlock. Take a look.
Check.
That on there as well too, if you want to find us on the network side of it. And welcome back to Two Up Front. We are here in the Attention Era Media Studios. I forgot where we were for a second, I guess. I have no idea what's going on. I am Baxter Colburn.
And I'm Simon Provan.
I have no idea. Great interviews, though. Holy cow. Morgan Proffitt of the Chicago Red Stars. And then we just heard from now, we didn't know at the time, but now, of course, for this week, NWSL Player of the Week, Jess Fishlock. A phenomenal goal from her. A great assist as well to Megan Rapinoe's volley goal that she had as well, too. Just two incredible women, two incredible interviews through and through, though.
Yeah, we're to use Morgan's phrase, we're blessed to have these types of players come on Two Up Front, and,
right.
And they, for as bad as we can be back, so they certainly step the quality up for us on the show.
we get some things right, not a lot, but most of the time we get a couple of things right. But we want to look back, of course, Simon, at the week that was, not only in MLS but also in the NWSL. Also, it was an interesting weekend. To say the least, when it comes to some MLS games. My Revolution got 2 draws over the weekend, so, I mean, we didn't lose.
At home.
We didn't lose, but yeah, they both were at home.
Yeah, disappointing.
Come on, guys. But, I mean, yeah, I don't have anything to say. Disappointing.
Whereas on my end of things, Darlington Nagbe, listen, I know Javinko had a wonderful restart goal, but
wow,
Darlington Nagbe, to me,
wow.
Had the goal of the week, beats 5 Vancouver Whitecaps players, slams the ball into the goal, and just turns to the crowd, raises his arms like, that's what I've been wanting to do for the last 2 years.
Exactly. And then, of course, former Vancouver Whitecaps forward Darren Maddox seals the game with the game-winning goal as well, too. So it all comes full circle. And that was a move, too, that I was excited about for Maddox, because I've always enjoyed him as a player since I followed Vancouver a little bit early on in the Two Up Front days. But now it's one of those things where it's like he's finally getting that opportunity to show what he's doing.
Yeah, and I know there was a lot of rumors, probably not rumors, probably the truth, that he was a terrible presence in the locker room, and that's one of the reasons Vancouver wanted to get rid of him. I know he was excited to get a fresh start and to play under somebody like Caleb Porter,
right,
who doesn't take a lot of stuff from people.
And I think that's what ultimately ends up being the best thing for him when you have a troubled player, is to have a coach that doesn't take crap from anybody.
Right.
Be like, if you're going to play for me, this is what you're going to do. If not, you're gone. And I think Darren Maddox realized, he's like, I'm still young. I'm now going to a title-contending team. I need to get my act together.
And it helped that, for his sake, Fernando Adi was not able to play. He was suspended by the disciplinary committee. Maddox got to step up, and he's been used, often by the Timbers, but not always in such a big capacity. So it was a great confidence booster for him as well. So we'll get into our predictions soon, but watch out for the Timbers. They are red hot.
You want to sing, cry, jig about the Galaxy? I don't know what's going on here.
For you fans of Hamilton, I'm apologizing for what I'm about to do, but
do I need to walk away?
No, it might hurt yours a little bit, but I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I want to be in the room where it happens in L.A. So what am I talking about?
What
am I saying?
Bad, actually.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But I'm singing.
I don't have any flowers.
Sit down. The reason I'm singing that song, Baxter, is I want to be in the room where the Galaxy decided that they wanted to be as irrelevant as possible for when LAFC is moving into the league next year. I want to be in the room where the LA Galaxy decided that they're not going to really bring any more big names in with LAFC moving into the league next year. I want to be in the room, Baxter, when the LA Galaxy decide that they hear Chicharito is possibly coming to MLS and LAFC is the club that's looking to snag him. Why isn't the Galaxy stepping in and saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's pull him out from underneath LAFC"?
I mean, the basic thing with all of this is that we kind of knew that these dominoes were going to fall the way they did. It started with David Beckham retiring. We saw Landon Donovan keep him relevant for a while. Then he retired.
Keane
even came back as well too. Yes, exactly. You had Gerard leave, and then all of a sudden, just Giovanni Dos Santos was kind of handed the keys, like, "All right, do it, Giovanni. You're Mexican's magic man. Go do his thing." And even he hasn't done a lot.
No, and I get that Zardes was hurt and that maybe, Dos Santos,
you can only blame that for so long, I feel like.
Alessandri are all trying to gel together. But, It's, to me, Baxter, it actually started with the coaching hire.
Yes.
Kurt Anafalo has not been successful in Major League Soccer. Fine, he was successful with Galaxy too, but two different galaxies, pun completely intended, when you're talking USL
100%.
and MLS.
It's like Star Trek and Star Wars. Two totally different things.
Right.
Simon's like, I'm not going to touch it. I want to. I'm not going to touch it. I know you're a nerd. I knew I could get you with that. But you're just like, let's talk soccer.
Yes. I was I'm resisting temptation there. But no, it starts with the coaching change.
It does.
You know, as much as some of the newer fans of MLS want to give Bruce Arena a lot of shtick for saying the game passed him by. Look, he won championships again with the Galaxy after winning them early in the league.
Right. With
DC United. You bring in a guy who has not done well in MLS and he continues not to do well. I would not be surprised if the Galaxy end up making a coaching change even early on in the season.
I think my biggest thing with the Galaxy and clubs like the Galaxy is that when you spend so much money to bring in big players like an Alessandri and a Gerrard and all those guys, it takes a long time for those guys to merge together because you're bringing the egos and you're bringing their past successes in. I mean, you had all the Liverpool business. You had all of everything that Dos Santos did. You had Robbie Keane, the international thing, trying to put all those pieces together a couple of years ago. It's why it took the Galaxy a couple of years to put it together. But when they did, they were dominant. They're doing the same thing again now. They've got all these pieces around that it's like, wow, on paper, well, why wouldn't we be winning big games instead of losing them 3-0? Why would we not be winning 3 and 4 and 5 games to 0? But they're still trying to figure each other out.
And the epitome, Baxter, of the Galaxy season thus far was Ashley Cole scoring an own goal this weekend.
He still is on the team.
Yeah.
Why?
So
I forget.
So thank you for giving me the time to bring that up. I'm just bewildered looking at the LA Galaxy and thinking, you've got a team coming into the league that's not only going to be playing in the not in the same city, but same area. But that on top of that, they actually got a downtown stadium in Los Angeles.
What's that like?
I mean, I'm not sitting here as a Galaxy fan, but I'm sitting here back as an MLS fan going, you're supposed to be one of the name teams in this league.
The pillars of the league.
And you're doing everything wrong. A year before LAFC comes in, which has already done things right with the powerful ownership group that they have. Again, building a stadium downtown. It bewilders me, Baxter.
And it frustrates me as well, too, honestly, the fact that a team like LA is struggling. I understand, like, if they're splitting back and forth every once in a while, but the fact that they have just continuously disappointed so many this year. But let's be honest, MLS as a whole, it doesn't make sense this year. It doesn't. Okay. I saw an article a couple of days ago. It's like, it was like MLS Week 8, proving that we literally know nothing about this league.
Well,
it's true.
Let me say this. Maybe it is actually coming from a personal point of view. Mm-hmm. 5 out of the 6 teams I picked to be in the playoffs at the end of the year are still in the playoffs.
Which is great.
The Galaxy are the only team that have messed with my predictions.
Pick it up,
Baxter.
Boys. Pick it up. Simon's trying to win
when we first talked, I originally had San Jose in my playoff predictions. I said, I'm going to take San Jose out. I'll put Houston in there. Well, Houston's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
The Galaxy they're basically tied for last in the West. Maybe they're a little bit above Colorado.
I think they are slightly. Colorado, speaking of which, we'll highlight that quickly. They decided to make history again, not only allowing the first time they met Minnesota to score their first couple of goals, but now they also have handed Minnesota their first win of their team.
Is it their first win or their first home win?
I think it's their first win as a whole. I could be wrong.
Let's check this out.
Someone check the tape. Let's see here. Minnesota, that was their first win.
First win.
Wow.
Well,
second win. Oh, wait. What? They have 2 wins? Wow. I don't know.
This is 2 up front, where we know nothing about anything.
Yeah, they still pay us to be here. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, well, they've won 2 games, apparently, at home. Then why were people freaking out about the win?
2 wins. I thought 1 was on the road, Baxter.
I thought so, too. Maybe MLS is wrong. Get yourself together, MLS.
Yeah, either way, congratulations to Ibarra for scoring his first MLS goal.
Maybe
and
that's
what a way
what
to do
it was. I don't
know. 1-0. So they not only do they win, but they get a shutout at home.
Unbelievable. I mean, the other notable matches, as we mentioned throughout the weekend, FC Dallas got that 1-0 victory over Sporting Kansas City. Atlanta got their ship reunited again and on the right track, a 3-1 thrashing of RSL. People are still talking about Seattle beating the Galaxy, 3-0, of course. Clint Dempsey, all whatever you need to say about him, he's back. He's good.
Their top 4 are back, right? It's Jordan Morris, Clint Dempsey, Ladero, and why am I blanking on the 4th player? Either way, Jordan Morris,
they're good.
If you didn't see the game, watch the highlights. Jordan Morris had a nice cutback, passing it back to Clint Dempsey for the 2nd week in a row. Clint Dempsey hits the bar, but doesn't matter. Seattle goes on to win.
Still wins. Giovinco leads TFC over Chicago 3-1, among others as well. And, of course, I mentioned the Revolution. 2 draws, 0-0 against San Jose, and a 2-2 draw against DC United.
Story of the weekend, though, Baxter, for me, is Jason Kreis and Orlando City going back to the old stomping grounds for Kreis and winning, scoring 3 points, getting the 3 points over New York City FC. You know, Kreis plays it really humbly. It's just another game for him. But
True.
you know, he's got to love the fact that he went in there. Second win this year over New York City.
Unbelievable. Josh says LA is bad right now, but not Philadelphia bad. That is a good point.
That's a fantastic point. Yes.
Luis also says Dempsey's the reason why I got a free beer during my trip to Boston last year. Thanks, Captain.
Wow. You got to tell us that story, Luis. I want to know more about that.
I like that. All right, let's look at this week as a whole for MLS, and then obviously we'll go to NWSL quickly since I know we're running out of time.
Yes.
TFC Houston, that game Friday evening, that's going to be a fun game. That's going to be a barn burner. 2 high-powered offenses. It's in Toronto. I don't necessarily know if there's a clear favorite in this one. Do you think there is?
Actually, I do. I think Toronto, listen, Giovinco, he's one of the storylines of the weekend as well, Baxter. I can't believe people are writing him off, but he is back. A lot of people were upset with the temper tantrum he threw when he got subbed off, but actually I loved it because to me it wasn't a temper tantrum about himself necessarily. It was that he was feeling good. He's finally back, playing well. He wants to continue to help his team, and of course he wanted that hat trick. I get that, but it just shows the passion that he has for the game.
I agree. So I'm going to take TFC.
Okay, yeah. So I see him affecting this game.
Yes.
Just as well. And, I see TFC winning this one.
I agree. We'll kind of zip through some of these. Montreal, Vancouver, a game I feel like is semi-meaningless to both of these teams, but obviously in the East, every game matters if you are anywhere in the East because you can be in and out of the playoffs in a point, basically. So Montreal obviously wants to win this game, but Vancouver, I think, is going to ultimately go and pull the upset in the Canadian rivalry.
You pick Vancouver, you said?
I do.
I'm taking Montreal.
Okie doke. Orlando and Colorado. Listen, Colorado's been atrocious recently. Orlando's been hot. It's in Orlando. I think we'd both be fools not to choose Orlando.
Absolutely. And Orlando, too. One of the things we talked about last show was they had not won on the road, and now they did.
And they're doing it. They're making it happen.
I'm still researching, by the way, where that other Minnesota win came from.
Yeah, please do. They're like, wait, we won 2 games? What? Who'd they beat?
Saturday, April 1st. Yeah, they beat Real Salt Lake. At home.
At home.
4-2.
I mean, I knew they beat RSL, but I thought that was on the road. Oh, well. The more you know.
The more you know.
No, that was because it was in the middle of a snowstorm. It's all coming back.
That's right, yes.
It's all coming back.
It's all coming back. We're all full of songs today.
I guess so. Columbus and New York.
Which New York?
FC. New York City FC.
By the way, how bizarre that Kukute Mana has not played for Columbus.
Why?
There was a big write-up on it this week, too.
Why?
He had tweeted out #rockbottom, and he said, well, no, that was about my training. It wasn't about being left off the roster. It's so bizarre how much...
How do you acquire a player like that?
Well, and how much Columbus gave up for him.
Right.
Anyways, where's this game at?
It's in Columbus.
And they're playing...
NYCFC.
I'm going to go with Columbus on this one.
That sounds good.
We'll get there eventually, folks. Stay with us.
Oh, my gosh.
One of those days.
Right. Red Bulls, Chicago, and FC Dallas, Portland. Your thoughts on those 2 games?
Ooh, Red Bulls are a bit of an up-and-down team.
Yep.
That's at home.
Chicago just lost 3-1 to Toronto.
Yeah, it was in Toronto, so...
True.
I still think
for what it's worth.
Schweinsteiger, I always say his name wrong. What is
Schweinsteiger, yeah.
It is, okay.
Yeah,
Schweinsteiger is... I think he's still finding his groove. So... I'm going to go with, let's see here. I'll go with Chicago in this one, Baxter.
Right,
I'll take an upset there.
I've got Chi-Town winning that one as well. And then I actually have a draw with FC Dallas and Portland. I think both are playing great soccer right now, but it's a tight game.
They are. Portland gets a D back. FC Dallas, here's the big question mark. Mauro Diaz is back in training. Does he play this weekend? If he does, I pick FC Dallas. Yeah. I hate to pick against Portland, Baxter, but FC Dallas is just too dang good this season. Yet to lose, the only unbeaten team. I'm going to stick with them continuing to be not only unbeaten, but they're going to win this one.
Okay, Minnesota and San Jose. Sounds kind of like a boring game.
I'm actually taking a draw on this one.
Are you? Okay.
San Jose has been very disappointing since their hot start. Minnesota seems to be putting... You know what? I'm going to take... What the heck? I'm taking the Loons.
Oof. All right, I'm going to actually go San Jose on this one. I think they're going to put it together because I think Minnesota still has a lot to prove, honestly. Sporting Kansas City, RSL on this one. SKC, I feel like, has to be the pick in this game.
Yeah, I feel like the honeymoon is already over with Mike Petke.
Oh, yeah. It's like, welcome back, and we suck.
Right. Sporting Kansas City, however, is playing playing decent soccer right now, and I think obviously they are the favorites, so I'm taking Sporting on this one.
Seattle and the Revs.
Seattle.
Yep, same. LA, Philly, they both suck. The battle of the suckies. LA is going to suck just a little less, in my opinion.
I'm taking a draw on this one.
It's going to be an awful 0-0 draw. Atlanta, DC United. Atlanta has got my pick on this one. They put it back together. And this is the game on Sunday as well, too. That one is on FS1.
Yeah, DC United has been up and down. Ian Harkes, though, seems to quickly be the player that they're building this team around. I'm actually going to take another draw on this one. I haven't taken draws in a long time, Baxter, so I'm filling up this week.
Pulling them out. I understand. All right, let's move into the NWSL. A fun weekend of action that took place. Boston 1-0 over Sky Blue. They get their first victory.
Roosevelt.
Sorry, assist. No, you got me. There you go. And then aside from that, you had Seattle thrash the Dash 5-1. Unfortunately, the Courage beat the Thorns 1-0, and the Pride and Spirit drew 1-1. I think some people were a little surprised by that. Marta did make her debut in this game as well for the Pride.
Yeah, absolutely. I was saying off air, Baxter, I'm a little proud of myself. I'm a little proud. I am on a winning record with my predictions for the NWSL thus far. 6-4 overall. MLS, not so much.
MLS, we don't talk about our MLS predictions. I feel like NWSL is a little easier to predict. So let's talk about it this week then. Thorns, Red Stars, Courage, Pride, Breakers, Rain, Spirit, Dash. Sky Blue, FCK.
I'm going with a draw on that Portland-Chicago game, Baxter. Okay. Chicago does have a far way to travel. They have to travel to Portland. But they got a decent win, Chicago, over the last week, and obviously the Thorns did as well. I see this one shaking out to be a draw.
Fair enough. I'm going to go with Thorns on this one. I think that they're a little salty from their results the last couple of days, and I think that they're going to really bring it on this time against the Chicago team that hasn't been atrocious, but at the same time, I think Chicago still has more to figure out.
I want
more from Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm still disappointed. I need more from Chicago, honestly.
So we saw some of that this last game.
We did.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Courage, Pride, listen. Courage are the only undefeated team in the league right now in the sense that they haven't lost or drawn a game. They're going to keep finding ways to win. Orlando has yet to win a game. Courage have to be the clear favorite.
Yeah, Marta may have made her debut, but needs to help Orlando a lot more than what we saw. So same thing, going with the Courage.
Rain and the Breakers. Listen, Breakers, you're nice, you're cute. You even got a nice draft pick in Rose Lavelle. But Seattle is out for blood after putting 5 goals in against the Dash. Here's the reason why. Because the Dash defense is horrible. Where have you heard that before? Right here. So there you go. Now you know, if you're a Houston fan, why they lost.
Yeah, Seattle is on fire right now. They haven't lost either. I know it's only the 2 games in, but a draw, and then they were playing very mad that they got that draw the week previously.
Right.
I think we continue to see Seattle put things together. I mean, they played a nearly perfect game against Houston Baxter. I don't think we'll see a near perfect game, but I do think we see Seattle win this one.
Okie doke. That's who I've got as well, too. Spirit and the Dash. Spirit drew a late goal against Orlando. Houston, of course, still trying to figure out what the heck just happened. I think Jane Campbell is still having bad nightmares from all the goals flying in at her. I think this is going to be a draw because I think both clubs now have to still continue to figure themselves out. Houston, they got that victory against Chicago. They're like, oh, we must be a good team. Oh, we just lost 5-1. Well, who are we? I think against a team like Washington, who is still very much a rebuilding project this year, I think that both teams get on the score sheet, but ultimately neither team is at that point to take a victory.
I disagree. I think Houston is going to lay a thrashing on the Spirit. I think they're so going to be so upset. We're going to see a Messi-esque anger in them. And I'm going to go out of far limb. This doesn't count in our predictions, but I'm going to say it anyways. Ojai gets a hat trick this game.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. And then finally, I'm not mad about that if that happens. And then Sky Blue hosting FC Casey. Sky Blue losing to Boston 1-0 last week. FC Casey also has been having some issues since opening day as well, too. FC Casey gets the victory on the road, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you on this, Baxter. I think Sky Blue is still trying to figure things out. They're such a great club, such great friends of 2 up front. We'd obviously like to see them do better, but we don't pick sides because of that.
Of course.
Kansas City gets the win in this one. By the way, everybody just saw me look up. It just felt like the building was going to fall down there for a second, but we're okay.
We're fine.
We're okay.
No worries. Simon's predictions are on the ceiling. Who did I pick?
Right.
All right, we got to go, but we know we want to do I Believe really quick as well,
sure.
too. Do you have an I Believe?
I do. I've got a quick one for you, Baxter.
Ahead.
It is CONCACAF Champions League final tonight.
Of course it is.
It is 1-1
Surprised
on
we
the
waited
aggregate.
this long to talk about it.
I had to save something good for the I
Thank
Believe.
You.
Omar Gonzalez has the opportunity to become the 3rd American to actually win a CONCACAF Champions League. And I think Pachuca does over Tigres. The game is at home for Pachuca. They got their away goal against Tigres, against 1-1 aggregate. Everything is in favor of Pachuca. I believe that Pachuca wins the CONCACAF Champions League.
I believe, I'm going to go on an NWSL tangent, I believe that the Seattle Reign are going to now go on a 5-game tear and just continue to start taking people out left and right, because now that they've gotten the pieces together, I think they're going to be terrifying to face at any point, especially the next couple of games.
So what you're saying is they're going to be on a reign of terror.
I love it. Yes, exactly. With that being said, this has been Two Up Front, presented by Three Lines Pub. A very special thanks to Morgan Proffitt of the Chicago Red Stars, and of course Jess Fishlock for joining us as well from the Seattle Reign. If you missed any of the show today, you can find it not only on our website, the number 2, twoupfrontsoccer.com, but on brewsportsnet.com. We are a part of the Brew Sports Network. You can find us on Spreaker, on iTunes, and on iHeartRadio as well, and also on Brew Sports YouTube channel as well too. Just search for Two Up Front, search for anything soccer related. We're going to pop up. We're there. We're proud. We love it. We're everywhere. Boom.
Is that it?
That's it, I think.
I think that's good.
I think so.
Do I do the Facebook and Twitter stuff?
If you want to.
Facebook, Two Up Front in the search bar. You'll find us. Videos there as well. Yeah. Twitter, at Two Up Front Soccer. He's at Baxter Colburn. I'm at Simon Provan.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. With our manager being the one above, we are Two Up Front.